Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Guyla Greenlee, and I'm from Casper, Wyoming. I am the owner of Dandelion Leadership Coaching, where I help leaders and emerging professionals make more confident decisions, manage stress, and avoid burnout so they are equipped to build impactful teams and create thriving work environments. At Dandelion Leadership Coaching, we are dedicated to equipping leaders with the resources they need to successfully transform their wishes into reality. Now, this presentation is a brief introduction to self-awareness and the research that indicates it is the key to personal and professional success. So let's just jump right in. I use this slide when I'm presenting live. People usually respond with words such as grit, determination, humility, education, ambition, passion, confidence, patience, discipline, courage, optimism, or dedication. These are all great words and aspirational qualities that do have an impact on individual success. However, according to a 2013 Cornell University study of business leaders, the top indicator of overall success is self-awareness. In fact, the exact quote was, "A high self-awareness score was the strongest predictor of overall success." Self-awareness is widely regarded as a key to success. The books and authors listed here are just a sampling of the vast research in this area. How many of these books have any of you read? According to Claire Hughes Johnson, a former Google VP and a current advisor to Stripe, she always looks for self-awareness when interviewing job candidates. But in the end, it is a rare quality. Research published in the Harvard Business Review indicated most people think they are self-aware, but in reality, only 10 to 15% of the people studied fit the criteria. What does self-awareness actually mean? Organizational psychologist Tasha Eurich defines self-awareness as the ability to see ourselves clearly, to understand who we are, how others see us, and how we fit into the world. To understand self-awareness, it is important to recognize that it is made up of two key components. Internal self-awareness, which is how clearly we view our personal values, reactions, and impact on others. Eurich's research found that internal self-awareness is associated with higher job and relationship satisfaction, personal and social control, and happiness. It is negatively related to anxiety, stress, and depression. External self-awareness, on the other hand, is concerned with understanding how others see us. Eurich's research showed that people who know how others see them are more likely at showing empathy and taking others' perspectives. Her research further concluded that for leaders who see themselves as their employees do, their employees tend to have a better relationship with them, feel more satisfied with them, and see them as more effective in general. So what is self-awareness? First of all, it is an element of emotional intelligence. EQ, as it's called, has gained popularity in leadership and career arenas. In fact, some experts are asserting that EQ is more important than IQ. Did anyone else watch the show Scorpions? It was about a team of geniuses who started a consulting company. When they began working with the government, FBI officials insisted they hire an emotional intelligence expert who was to help them develop their own EQs. The thread woven throughout the series was an ongoing study of the differences between IQ and EQ, and how dangerous and debilitating the lack of EQ can be in workplace and personal relationships. Another element of self-awareness is the understanding of how you're wired. We learned in Scripture that God knit us together in our mother's wombs. He is our designer. Dr. Elizabeth Murphy, author of The Developing Child, Using Jungian Type to Understand Children, said personality types begin to become evident in infants as young as 6 months old. What do you believe in? What do you not believe in? The World Heritage Dictionary defines worldview as the overall perspective from which one sees and interprets the world, a collection of beliefs about life and the universe held by an individual or a group, and one's personal view of the world and how one interprets it. Basically, worldview is the foundational mechanism by which we make life decisions. Now, we all have our blind spots, but the more we focus on becoming self-aware, the better we become at recognizing both our healthy and our not so healthy habits. Knowing our likes and dislikes helps us make quicker, more confident decisions. When I started thinking about leaving my stable career for the unknown, I journaled about my work history. I wrote down what I liked and disliked about my current job, and then added what I had liked about every job I'd had. I also journaled about what I didn't like. I was able to see a pattern of what brought me joy or stress in the workplace. Armed with this knowledge, I was better able to make a wise decision about my future. In addition to knowing our likes and dislikes, it is important to identify the differences between wants and needs. Once we've defined that, then we can decide what we really need and what we truly want. Self-awareness isn't just likes and dislikes, wants and needs. It's also having a deeper understanding of your emotional responses. Do you get angry quickly? What are your triggers? Do you get discouraged? Can you identify what or who has a way of leaving you feeling deflated? Once you understand your emotional responses, you can learn how to control them. It is also important to understand how your emotional reactions affect those around you. Now that we have an idea of what self-awareness is, let's talk a little bit about what it isn't. It is not quick. It is not a cure-all. It is not easy. It definitely is not painless. And you don't have to do it alone. What about those who lack self-awareness? What does that look like? Some of the biggest red flags are that they are unwilling to admit their mistakes. They criticize others. They avoid making hard decisions. And they tend to either be stuck in the past or worried about the future. Nobody wants that person on their team. So how do we all benefit from greater self-awareness? When you start becoming more self-aware, you'll likely see increased confidence in your abilities and decisions, greater ability to manage stress, heightened awareness of how your emotions affect others. You'll see that you've become more open to receiving and learning from constructive criticism, and you'll know to control how you react to what you can't control. Here's a few ways to get started. Those of you old enough to remember the television shows Doogie Howser, MD, and Star Trek: The Next Generation will know the first two styles of journaling. Doogie typed a journal entry into his computer at the end of every episode. Captain Jean-Luc Picard made voice entries into his captain's log. You can use either of these options. You can also keep a video journal or really get back to the basics and write in a notebook. When you journal, ask yourself why questions in moderation. It is better to focus on what questions. Instead of asking, why do I feel so terrible? Try asking, what are the situations that make me feel terrible and what do they have in common? Focusing on what questions helps us stay objective, future-focused, and empowered to act on our new insights. Another option is to take assessments. If you haven't already taken these measurements, they can really help you understand how you were wired, why you developed some of the coping mechanisms you have, and what your strengths are. As coaches, you may already be using one or all of these tools in your practice. I recommend choosing one that you especially like, that you use at the beginning of a coaching relationship, and then weave in lessons throughout your coaching. I use Type Coach because they have so many tools for improving communication, holding effective meetings, dealing with stress, change, conflict, motivation, etc. My last recommendation is hire a coach. You knew this was coming. We all know how important coaching is. Even the most elite athletes need coaches, and even coaches need coaches. Well, there you have it. That concludes our brief introduction to self-awareness and some of the research that indicates it is the key to success in both your personal and professional life. If you have not already incorporated self-awareness building activities into your practice, now is the perfect time to start. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk more in the roundtables.